They mocked her art, called it childish, and laughed in her face. But what no one expected was that one of the world's most powerful art collectors would walk in, stare at her canvas, and offer millions. What did he see that everyone else missed? Stick around till the end to witness a stunning transformation, a story of heart, courage, and the hidden masterpiece that silenced them all. In a small town nestled between rolling hills and whispering pines lived a quiet young woman named Lily Myers. She had always found solace in color, emotion in brushstrokes, and stories in every canvas. From childhood, painting had been her secret world where she poured her thoughts, dreams, and imagination. But to those around her, especially her classmates and even some teachers, her art seemed bizarre and naive. "It's childish," they would often say, laughing at her swirls of bright colors and distorted faces. She didn't paint realistic landscapes or classical portraits. Instead, her work exploded with shapes, colors, and emotions. Lily didn't mind at first. Art to her was never about pleasing others. It was a mirror of her soul. But as the years passed, the constant ridicule began to sink in. Her confidence faded, and eventually she stopped showing her work to anyone. Lily lived with her grandmother, Rose, who had been her only cheerleader in a world that refused to understand her vision. "You paint feelings, Lily. That's rare," Rose would often say while sipping tea and watching her granddaughter work. Every evening their small home would glow with golden sunlight reflecting off half-finished canvases stacked in corners and under the stairs. Rose believed Lily's art had magic, not the kind that cast spells, but the kind that reached hearts. When Rose passed away quietly one morning, Lily felt a silence deeper than any she'd known. The brushes sat untouched for weeks. The colors seemed too loud for the grief she carried, but one day she picked up a canvas and painted the pain, the grief, the longing, and in that moment something returned. Not joy, but truth. Determined to live with purpose again, Lily decided to apply to a local art exhibition. It was small but well attended, and she felt maybe it was time to be brave again. She submitted 3 paintings, each bursting with emotion, memory, and color. But the day she entered the exhibit hall, the murmurs started. A group of art critics whispered, not discreetly, "This looks like a child's tantrum on canvas." A couple of other artists scoffed, "What is this? Crayon therapy?" Lily tried to smile and stay strong, but her heart sank. The visitors passed her booth with disinterest, some even shaking their heads in disapproval. She overheard one saying, "This doesn't belong in an art show." She stood there, wishing she hadn't come. Embarrassment burned through her like fire. It was happening all over again. Just as she was about to pack up and leave, a tall, elderly man with silver hair and kind eyes approached her booth. He stood silently examining one particular painting and the one she had painted after her grandmother's death. It was abstract with shades of gray lavender and a small glowing amber swirl in the center. "Tell me about this one," he said gently. Lily hesitated. No one had asked that before. She swallowed her fear and shared the story of loss, love, and healing. The man listened carefully, his eyes never leaving the painting. After a long silence, he said, "This is not childish. This is truth in color." He smiled, then handed her a card. "I'm Arthur Bennett. I collect emotional realism. I believe your work deserves the world." Lily blinked, unsure if she was dreaming. Arthur Bennett? The name rang bells. He was a famous art collector known for discovering unique, raw talents. "Would you be open to exhibiting these in my New York gallery next month?" he asked. The room seemed to spin. She nodded slowly, stunned. Arthur bought not just the painting she had shared, but all 3, and offered her a substantial advance for a full collection. "I see something here no one else saw," he said, shaking her hand firmly. Word spread fast. Artists who had mocked her were now suddenly silent. The critics returned to her booth with curious eyes and forced smiles. But Lily no longer needed their approval. She had found something greater, someone who truly saw her. The following month, Lily's paintings debuted in Arthur Bennett's private gallery in Manhattan. The space was packed, journalists, influencers, collectors, all drawn in by Arthur's invitation. Her collection, titled Echoes of the Unseen, featured her journey through pain, memory, childhood wonder, and quiet strength. Each canvas pulsed with emotion and story. As people walked through, some wept, others stood in silent awe. One elderly woman clutched her chest and whispered, "This reminds me of my daughter." A young boy tugged his father's hand and said, "This is how I dream, Dad." That night, nearly all of her work sold, several to high-end collectors, including a tech billionaire and a museum curator. The highlight of the evening came when an anonymous buyer bid $2.4 million for the very painting she had created for her grandmother. The gray and amber masterpiece. The gallery fell into a hush. Lily was stunned, her heart pounding so hard she could barely hear. Tears welled in her eyes, but not for the money. It was because the piece had finally been understood. "For Rose," she whispered softly under her breath. Reporters rushed to interview her, flashbulbs popped. Suddenly the childish painter was the talk of the town. Social media exploded with praise. "The new face of emotional realism," read one headline. "She paints what we feel but can't say," another reviewer wrote. In the days that followed, Lily received invitations from Paris, Tokyo, and London. Art schools asked her to teach. Her inbox flooded with commissions and gallery requests. But she remained grounded. She still painted in her little home, still brewed tea in her grandmother's kettle, and still talked to Rose at night. The fame hadn't changed her heart, only her reach. She started a foundation in her grandmother's name, supporting young, misunderstood artists from small towns. "Not all brilliance looks classical," she would say at each fundraising event. "Sometimes it looks like scribbles and color explosions, and that's okay." Back in her hometown, everything had changed. The same critics who once mocked her were now asking for interviews. Local schools invited her to speak. A mural was commissioned in the town square, based on one of her earliest works. But Lily was gracious. She held no grudges. "Sometimes people can't see what they don't understand," she said in one interview. She even returned to the art exhibition where it all began, this time as a guest judge. A young girl with wild colors on her canvas shyly asked her, "Is it too messy?" Lily knelt beside her and smiled. "It's beautiful. Never hide your mess." Lily's story became a symbol of perseverance, of staying true, and of the power of authenticity. Across the world, artists began exploring emotional realism, inspired by her boldness. Her paintings were no longer just pieces of art, they were windows into the human soul. Museums dedicated wings to her collections. Universities added her work to their curricula. And still, Lily painted every day, barefoot in her small studio, humming the lullabies her grandmother used to sing. Years passed, and her fame only grew. A biography was written, titled "Brushstrokes of a Brave Heart." A documentary followed. She won awards, was named one of the most influential artists of her generation, and even received an honorary doctorate. But when asked what her proudest moment was, Lily always answered the same: "The day someone saw my heart on canvas," and didn't laugh. Her journey was a reminder to the world that true art comes not from approval, but from truth. One day, Lily returned to that very first art show, now renamed the Myers Art Festival. Her original painting, the gray and amber one, had been returned by the collector who bought it, now displayed in a protective glass case with a plaque that read, "The painting that changed everything." Visitors gathered around it daily, some cried, some smiled, but all felt something. Lily would often sit nearby and sketch, quietly observing. A young reporter once asked her, "What would you say to the people who called your art childish?" She paused, then chuckled softly. "I'd thank them," she said. They push me to find my real voice. Besides, there's something magical in how a child sees the world, raw, unfiltered, full of wonder. If that's what they saw, then maybe I was doing something right all along. Her words went viral again. She was trending under. Lily kept creating bold, heartfelt art, drawing inspiration from dreams, emotions, and mental health. Her work found its way into clinics and children's hospitals, bringing healing where words couldn't. What once seemed childish now brought comfort and peace. In time, Lily became more than just an artist. She became a symbol of hope. Her story proved that staying true to yourself, even when others mock you, can change the world. Because sometimes the purest truths are painted with the colors of innocence.